I'll start the demonstration for the 4-in-1 slider now. First, you take the slider out of the bag. You can open out these legs below the slider for placing it on a tabletop. The slider also has a series of threads which are standard for camera tripods. There are 3/8-inch threads and there are 1/4-inch threads. You can also mount it on 2 light stands on either end or 2 tripods on either end. This is the knob which you loosen to enable the slider to move. If you'd like to lock it, you can lock this and then the slider will not move. The slider is connected to a pulley system. The pulley system has this a threaded system here which tightens and loosens the slider. When you're operating it handheld, it's a good idea to loosen this as much as you can because it will free it up as much. If you're using it with the crank or with one of the motors, then you tighten this up slightly. Don't make it too tight, but just a little bit of tension. I think you'll get the feel of that once you do it yourself. So now we can clamp a ball head onto the slider or anything. This has a 3/8-inch thread and a male 3/8-inch thread there. So you can put a video head or a ball head onto this. Okay. So now that you've mounted the ball head, you take your camera and you place the camera on this thing and lock it from here. And lock it, okay? So now for basic handheld operation, you can slide your camera around like this. You can see it's beautifully smooth. Okay. The next way you can operate this is with a hand crank. This is not the smoothest way of operation because your hand can never be even when it's turning the camera. But it was an option, so we decided to give it with the camera. The second option is where you can use a DC motor and a joystick. So you take the DC motor and fit it onto the pulley system here, and we have to slot this square part onto the square part of the motor here. And there'll be 2 knobs with which you lock this motor in place. So you take the 3-pin plug and you slot it in this and you tighten this guy to lock it in place. Okay? And this is the connection for the battery. This goes in here. You can throw it on. The red light will come on here and here. And this is your controller. This is for controlling the speed of the slider. Now, if I bring this down to half intensity, the slider will operate a lot slower. Okay? The top button is for ramping or dampening. So if you turn the dampening off completely, when you go and stop your camera, it'll stop very fast. But if you leave the dampening on, when you move your camera and stop it, it'll gradually come to a stop. Now we take the stepper motor for time-lapse work. This is the 4th part of the movement. And we put it onto the slider as we did with the DC motor. We tighten the knobs once again. So this is the controller. There are 2 connectors in here. One which is a 4-pin connector which will go into the stepper motor, and one which is a 3-pin connector which will go into your camera, which actually triggers your camera. Now the 4-pin goes into this, and you screw this in to tighten it. And then you plug these guys in, and you switch the one with the white part on first, and then the second one, and this will spring to life. So to put this 3-pin in, this is what will actually trigger your camera. So this goes in, and this goes in. Okay. So to access the program, you press number 7. And this is the program. It shows up in about 12 steps. I'll run you through all the steps right now. Yeah. Okay. So the first is speed. We keep this at a fixed 20. Then is acceleration. We keep this at a fixed 1. The third thing is which direction is it going in? Is it going left or is it going right? So that is either counterclockwise or clockwise. Below that is loop 4. This is the command which tells you how many shots you want to shoot. The next command is that how much do you want it to move? And this can be 1/10 of a millimeter to a far larger number. Then the next command is wait. So the camera will move and then wait for 1.1 seconds, which gives the camera time to stabilize and get straight. The command after that is the out 1 high, wait 0.1 second, and out 1 low. This is what is actually triggering your camera. After that, again, the slider waits for 2.1 seconds. You can change and adjust all these times according to what kind of an interval you want between shots. And then you go to loop end, okay? And then if you want to save this, you press OK. To run the program, you then have to press number 6. So that's how it works. It goes there, it stops, it takes a picture, it stops, then it moves. We've made a unique system for mounting this guy onto tripod legs so that it's not a problem to store this while operations are going on. We've put 3 threaded screws at the base of this, and you'll find this device with this. This will go on top of these screws. So now you screw these things in here. And with this, you can clamp it onto any tripod legs or whatever. You can tighten this and clamp it. And the same system can be used on this guy, which is your DC motor controller. There's the same thing. This part will come off and attach here. And you can mount this on a tripod legs and operate the joystick from there.